She touches this spot on her body when she's attracted to you. If you've ever wondered whether a woman is into you, there's one giveaway almost no man notices. She touches a specific spot on her body. This isn't random fidgeting or adjusting her clothes. In psychology, it's called a self-touch cue, a subtle, unconscious gesture that draws your attention and signals attraction without her saying a word. When desire kicks in, her body naturally finds ways to highlight certain areas or soothe excited nerves, and her hands often lead the way. The tricky part? These touches happen so fast and naturally that most men miss them completely. But once you know where to look, you'll spot them instantly and know exactly what they mean. Here are the spots to watch for when she's into you. 1. Her hair. Did you know that one of the most common attraction cues is hair touching? She might twirl a strand, run her fingers through it, or smooth it over her shoulder. In psychology, this is seen as a preening behaviour, an unconscious grooming move meant to make her look more appealing. It can also be a way to draw your eyes upward and keep your attention on her face. The action often happens when she's engaged in the conversation or laughing with you, and it feels almost automatic. If you notice it paired with eye contact or a smile, the odds are high it's about more than just fixing a tangle. When you see it, lean in slightly. It subtly encourages more of that engaged, flirty energy. 2. Her lips. When attraction is high, you might catch her touching her lips without realizing it. A light press of the fingers, a swipe across with the back of her hand, or even applying lip balm more than once. Psychologists call this self-soothing touch, which can also double as a visual cue that draws attention to her mouth. She might bite her lips softly or run her tongue along it in a barely noticeable way. These gestures are primal. Our brains are wired to notice mouths when intimacy is on the mind. If you catch her glancing at you while doing it, it's a strong sign she's signalling openness. The next time it happens, mirror her focus by glancing briefly at her lips before meeting her eyes again. It sends a clear but subtle message that you're tuned in. 3. Her neck. The neck is one of the most vulnerable and sensitive areas of the body, so touching it in your presence can be a strong sign of attraction. She might gently rub the side, adjust a necklace, or let her fingers linger along her collar line. In psychology, this is often linked to exposure cues, subtly revealing a sensitive area as a non-verbal way of showing trust and interest. Sometimes it's mixed with a tilt of the head or hair being brushed aside, which exposes more skin. If she's doing this while leaning closer or holding eye contact, she's turning up the intimacy without saying a word. You can respond by keeping your gaze soft and engaged, which helps deepen the connection in that moment. 4. Her collarbone. Touches here are usually slow and intentional, brushing fingertips across it, adjusting a top to show just a little more, or running a hand along the neckline. This spot is associated with elegance and subtle sensuality, and in psychology it's tied to nonverbal emphasis, drawing the viewer's eye where she wants it. It's a small move, but can feel incredibly intimate, especially if she pairs it with a slight lean toward you. The motion frames her upper body in a way that's hard not to notice. If you spot her doing this, keep your posture open and face her fully. It's a non-verbal way of showing you're fully present with her energy. 5. Her chest. This one isn't about overtly sexual touching. More often, it's light, almost casual movements, like pressing a palm to her upper chest when laughing, adjusting jewellery, or brushing away imaginary lint. These are attention-directing gestures, often subconscious, that make you notice that area without her saying anything. In psychology, they're sometimes linked to courtship displays, where the goal is to keep your eyes drawn in. The key is context. If she's doing this while smiling warmly or leaning in, it's a strong sign she's feeling a physical connection. In that moment, hold her gaze and let the conversation breathe. The silence can amplify the spark already building. 6. Her thighs. Have you ever noticed her hand resting on her thigh when you're talking? This can be more than just a casual pose. When a woman is feeling attracted, she may lightly stroke, press, or smooth her thigh, often without realizing it. Psychologists sometimes link this to self-stimulation gestures, which happen when someone feels a mix of nervous energy and physical interest. It can also subtly draw your eyes downward, especially if she's seated close to you. If she pairs it with leaning in, crossing and uncrossing her legs, or keeping her knees angled towards you, it's a strong signal she's tuned in on a physical level. The next time you spot it, slow your own movements slightly. It keeps the moment feeling intentional and connected. 7. Her hips. Hips are one of the most ancient and instinctive attraction cues in body language. A woman might place a hand on her hip, subtly shift her weight to one side, or trace the curve of her hip bone with her fingers. In evolutionary psychology, hip displays are tied to courtship signals. They emphasize curves and movement in ways that are naturally attention-grabbing. Touching her hips while facing you, especially during a laugh or a pause in conversation, can be her way of drawing focus there without making it obvious. If she's doing this while also closing the distance between you, it's worth paying attention. Matching her body orientation and holding your gaze for a moment longer can increase that silent, mutual tension. 8. Her wrist. The wrist might seem like an odd one, but it's actually a highly intimate gesture. She might touch, rub, or trace her wrist while you're talking, sometimes exposing the soft underside towards you. In psychology, this is considered a vulnerability display, because the inner wrist is sensitive and usually protected. Revealing it, and especially touching it, can be an unconscious way of signaling trust and openness. Sometimes it's paired with adjusting a bracelet or watch, but the movement is slower and more deliberate than necessary. If she's showing you this part of her body repeatedly, she's inviting you into a more personal space. You can respond by mirroring small gestures with your own hands, which helps build a feeling of subtle intimacy. 9. Her face. Face touching is one of the most classic non-verbal attraction cues. She might touch her cheek, run her fingers along her jawline, or rest her chin in her hand while keeping her eyes on you. These are self-grooming behaviors in psychology, ways of drawing attention to facial features she wants you to notice. Lightly touching the lips or cheek while smiling can also make the interaction feel more sensual, without crossing any lines. If she's doing this while leaning toward you or maintaining strong eye contact, it's rarely just a coincidence. When you notice it, hold her gaze and slightly soften your own facial expression. It makes the moment feel more private and shared, even in a crowded space.